Well, good morning. It's nearly afternoon, actually. Just listened to the Richie Allen radio show and just thought I'd pop on and say hello. Welcome, everybody. Beautiful day today out there. Just getting over, let's say, a detox, so that's good, refreshing. Feeling very aware and awake. Let me take it. You can hear me now, hopefully. Maybe I shouldn't have taken them off. Maybe I'll just wait for somebody to come on. Yes, nearly 190,000 subscribers. And one person has now just found me. Welcome. I wonder if you could hear me. If you can hear me, would you just say, I can hear you, Mark? Because I just took my headset off, so I'm just wondering if it's actually working. Just a yes, I can hear you, it would be great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, here at Art Bakery, okay, now they're moving off. This is what happens. Sometimes people like to listen. Welcome, everybody. Well, yes, signatures of life, very, very connected to, for me, the psyche, very connected to the spiritual, very connected to the signs. Very interesting these days. Everything is, as many people believe, is simply coincidences. When you step into the world of healing, you realize that there is no such thing as coincidence. You know, what does that mean, Mark? Well, if I meet somebody and they're wearing the same jacket as me, or they may be drinking the same drink as me, then that's how I would see a coincidence. I'm talking about the coincidences where you just cannot deny something so overwhelming and it's felt. You can feel that coincidence. Synchronicities are, again, felt in such a powerful way that cannot be explained. You know, this morning I posted something of a boy at 4 years old on a TV, some kind of TV show. And he was 4 years old, and this is what they said. I wouldn't know. They said that he learned in 3 months how to play the piano. I've actually done podcasts talking about the very same thing that I was involved in, meaning I'd gone to somebody's house and I saw a child play a piano and the child had never learned a lesson in their life, and they just started playing. So when people say that there's no such thing as, or when people, especially now, that there's this new idea that wasn't around 30 years ago, nobody was talking about this 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 5, it's only just started coming up now, and that is that this world is a world that basically is like hell. All you do is you come here and it wipes away your memory. What about the child who plays the piano after 3 months and plays it like a professional? What about that child? Did that child's memory get wiped out? Nobody mentions on that. In fact, it's almost like an invisible, it's a bit like the jab, right? Nobody talked about it. Everybody needs to have it, but nobody dare talk about the actual real reason we should be talking about it, and that is, could it cause harm? Oh, nobody wants to talk about that. You're a bad person. Same with this. Nobody talks about a child like, hang on a minute, let's just stop here. So yeah, the child's got a brain, absolutely. We all have a brain, but it might be a bit more powerful than anybody else. Might have great sense of hearing, but how can a child after 3 months play a piano like that when it can take somebody years and years and years? Could it be that there's something else going on here? But that's never mentioned, because the reason why it's not mentioned is the same as the possibility of the jab causing harm to people. They don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to tell you the elephant in the room. They don't want to say to you, well, the reason why that child is playing is because for some reason this child has a memory of their past life, and they're playing a piano like they know how to play it from, it's just in them, they know how to play it, so their consciousness holds that. So that child has managed to come here, and for some reason which way nobody wants to talk about is, why is that child, like many other children, how is it that they have come here without their memory being wiped out? Why can't we discuss that? Why is it? Because those that write about this in their books now, many of them, it would absolutely counter that. It would just annihilate that. So what we should be asking is, what happened to that child for that child to retain the conscious memory that then the body and their senses are able to play that piano? But no, nobody wants to talk about that, really. It's not important, forget it. It's just woo-woo. It's just one of those things. It's like, well, and that's why we never get anywhere in life, because the real things that need to be spoken about are always shunned and pushed away and just acknowledged in the world that we live in as, well, we don't know. Well, hang on a minute. You want to know everything else. You want to know everything about, science. You want to know everything about the stars. Why don't you want to know about this? Why isn't this such an amazing topic of conversation? Why can't we delve into the fact that, how is this child able to play a piano without being taught? How is this child can get on a piano and start playing Bach and the Bumblebee? How is that? How is that possible? But no, we don't want to talk. Don't go there. Don't go there. You know why they don't want you to go there? Because once you tap into that and acknowledge that this is real, and once you acknowledge it's real, then maybe the books changes, the mindset changes, the new understanding of this world changes. And once you change that, then you're going to have to look at the root cause of why all of us didn't retain that very memory of our past lives that we should be retaining and bringing forward into this life. And no, I do not believe for one moment we are erased of our memory of past life. Not one bit. That's a cop-out. That's a gatekeeper talking to you. I've spent years trying to help children by way of bringing out their true gifts of past, their past lives, their past life. What is it in this consciousness? It's not a child. That's not a child. That body's a child's body. But inside that body is an absolute powerful powerhouse of knowledge through the consciousness. And what's the difference between a child and an adult? It's just the body. It's just what's being processed in the mind. I mean, if you want to go down that path and start asking me what the root cause is, the root cause is from when you've been born, when you've been jabbed, when you've been slapped, when the cord's been cut too soon, when you've been brought out in a way that is like a ritual. It's right from the very moment you are slapped, in the sense, not just slapped to wake you up, as so they say. You don't need slapping. That's bullshit. You need gently rubbing and massaging. It's all satanic in nature. It's made so that you become dumb, that you don't go into your past, you don't go into your consciousness and connect to your soul. But like I said, these things are never talked about because they're dangerous. They're dangerous because that would change the way we understand life and why we're here. And we realize that this life has been compromised by monsters, by the satanic, by those that want to feed even to this moment, every step that you take, every page that you turn, every video, every scroll that you do is all designed to bring fear into your soul, so you don't think about who you are, what you are, and why you're here. Everything is designed perfectly to make you fear. And why? Because fear feeds the very nature of the beast that surrounds us, that is always around us, and that is always trying to feed from us. It's true. The nature of the beast, that's how it works. Darkness works 24/7 to make you feel bad, and it's all by design. Everything that you see on the black screen is all by design. Every breaking news story is all by design. Oh, there's UFOs. Hang on a minute, mate. How come we haven't been talking about UFOs? How come it's just now? Oh, we should fear it. It's all fear, fear, fear. Yeah. All by design, guys. Perfectly orchestrated. Perfectly orchestrated. Is there such thing as other species? Of course. You're looking at one right now. I'm a different species to you, and you're a different species to me. Just because we've got a bodysuit doesn't mean that we come from the same place. And there are many bodysuits, many colours of bodysuits, many different sizes of bodysuits, and many extraterrestrials, which you are. Why now? Exactly. Why now? It's all by design, all of it. And when you see through the illusion, the lies, when you see through that everything is a lie, everything that mainstream is feeding you is a lie. Just imagine it like a game of chess. It's a game of chess, that's what it is. And they've already spent maybe 20 years figuring out which piece you're going to move, and they already know to counteract everything that you do. People say that you shouldn't give them too much credit, they're not as clever as what you think, but I think there are a group of highly satanic monsters in this world that spend all their life, because it's part of their consciousness, it's part of their soul, where they come from, is to cause chaos, is to cause separation, is to cause fear in the world. Once you understand that, then you realize that these monsters rule the world, they run the world, and whatever happens is merely a part of their plan. So there is no coincidence, there is no, it is exactly as it's meant to be. Some people understand it, and some people will go into fear, and it's fascinating. The subject of life and why we're here is fascinating to me. And with all the distractions, most people will never really truly understand life. And like I said, if you've ever been a healer and you've worked with people who are ready to leave this world and go home, you find that there's a reaction to a moment, this divine thunderbolt, lightning strike moment when you heal them and they're ready to go home. And what happened to me was they always said something to the words of, I just never knew. I mean, they just look at you and then they stare into abyss and just say, I never knew, Mark. I just never knew. Meaning that the life that they thought was their life, they missed what they came here to do. I never knew. I never realized what I came here to do until the very last breath that you take. And then these images, this beautiful, your life story comes through in images, and then everything fits together and everything makes sense. Now, I'm not saying that you made a mistake. I'm just saying that when people say I never knew, means that they were fooled, that they didn't fulfill what they came here to do because of darkness and because of these monsters that basically run the world. And it's not the monsters that we should be blaming, it should be ourselves. We should be saying, why didn't we understand? Why didn't we overcome? Why didn't we see? That's the question we should be asking ourselves now. But most people just want to know what's for tea. Most people just want to know if they're going to, I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult because the way the world is being created is such a sophisticated, evil world that keeps us in incarceration. It keeps us in fear. It keeps us in worry because, God forbid you drive too fast and you get a parking ticket, and so on and so on. God forbid you can pay your next bill at home. God forbid, that the fear comes in that your boss sacks you, or, and most people are in constant fear. And one of the things that healers recognize is that we have to take control of our own life, our world, and we have to be the masters of our own life and world. And we cannot allow other people to take control. We cannot allow fear to take control of our life. We cannot allow authority to take control of our life. And that's why freedom is the ultimate expression. It is the only thing that we should fight for, we should die for. Freedom is ultimately everything. That is the only thing that is left in this world. Once that has completely been taken away, which is 90% of your freedom is gone, you just don't know it. But that last 10% where we're coming to now, once that's gone, then you will be living in a virtual prison in your mind. You will have no thoughts of your own. You will not believe anything unless you're told to believe it. And that is where it's going. People say that people are waking up, but what I see now, right now, is exactly the same thing as what they did with the fake pandemic. All the people, or most of them, started fearing it and running towards it. And now this UFO, drone, whatever you want to call it, new people are falling for it again. And it's the same script, just different characters, just different objects. Just this time they're not needles, they're so-called UFOs or drones, or it's just the same old story being played out. It's about distraction. It's about just stopping you from seeing what's really happening in this world. Stopping people from seeing what is happening, how these monsters control the world, control everything that you do. Every penny that you make, they take half of that off you and keep it for themselves, and so on. Nobody stands up and says this is wrong about that, which we should. But we don't, because we fear prison. There's not enough people to stand together. That's the problem, because they've separated us. And partly, even my work separates people, and I realize that, and that's a dangerous thing as well. But it's what do I do with that? I can't say that we're all the same. We're not. We're different. I'm talking about the bodies. I'm talking about the souls that reside within these, because I'm not anything like a soul that walks around in a body that likes to rape children. That person's not me. That person doesn't represent my consciousness. That is a monster in there that likes to hurt children. That lives and breathes and wants to drain children. That is a predator to children. Don't say that he comes from the same God as me, because he isn't. He's nothing like me. So yes, of course I'm going to have separation. I'm going to use separation because I know that there are literally monsters that don't realize that they're monsters. They think that that's normal. Where they come from, they feed. They're parasites. They're the same as attachments. They feed from fear. They feed from children. They feed from anybody who's weak in mind. I don't want to feed from anybody weak. If I see anybody weak and vulnerable, I want to help them and stop them from being weak and vulnerable and tell them that they're amazing, and help them see that, this isn't the way forward to feel weak. And you need to be strong. You need to bring out your power. You need to realize who you are. But there are people in this world that see vulnerability as an excuse to feed from them. Don't ever call me anything like that. I'm nothing like that human being, man or woman, because there's plenty of women who feed from weak people. So yeah, so I guess I'm part of the very nature of the problem, because I'm also bringing separation to this world. But you know what? I'd rather stand with somebody that I know is like my soul brother, who comes from the same consciousness world that I come from, than stand next to an abuser, a paedophile. And there are many of them in this world. So you wonder why the world doesn't come together. You wonder why people, call me out and say, why don't you ever want to do world meditation and stuff? Well, because we're not all the same. You're calling for monsters to enter into the same nature or the same circle as me. No, they'll feed from us. They'll feed from that very energy. They will corrupt it. They will do everything they can to stop that love and that healing in that circle and that meditation. That's why I don't want to be involved in that. And I've talked about this in great detail on many podcasts that I've done, that I've spent 20 years doing circle nights. It only takes one person to disrupt the whole circle night. And you're asking people to come together to do a global meditation? Good luck with that one. The only global meditation you should be doing is your own. Meditate daily. That's how you bring the energy high. But hey, everybody wants groups. And if you know anything about groups, guys, they always get infiltrated by darkness. That's why I can't stand groups, because soon as that energy of darkness gets into the group, then you start to see the cesspit of people's behavior when they come together. Horrible energy, disgusting energy, hurtful, attack, bully, disgusting energy. That's why I'm a loner. I'm a loner because I know it's too easy to disrupt something that's pure and loving. My circle nights were beautiful, but there were many times I had to deal with, one or two people that I knew came to disrupt it, came with nefarious reasons, came to check out to see who I am and how they can maybe manipulate me into the darkness. Don't worry, I had many occasions where I've been asked to do things basically to sell my soul, and I told them to fuck off straight away. Get yourself. You think I'm stupid? You think I don't know who you are and what you're trying to do? It didn't take long for them to realize that they couldn't wind me up, because I was a 70s lad. I used to, there weren't much that we didn't go through as kids. We were tough kids. We had to deal with bullies. We had to deal with all of this stuff ourselves, deal with abusive fathers. We had to deal with life. We had no mums and dads muddy cuddling us. My mum died when I was 12, so I had to deal with it myself. And that was a good thing. It prepared me for what's to come. And there is darkness in this world, guys. Make no mistake, there's darkness everywhere. And it's getting stronger. Why do you think the Vatican is now opening doorways? Why do you think CERN is creating a bigger machine? Why do you think there's so much more attachments, so many more dark entities entering into this world? It is a reality that is the truth. The reality is that darkness thrives when people don't do or say anything. We have to be strong, and we have to also send good vibes and do good things. I also posted something lovely about a lovely boy who, works on teddy bears and sends them out all over this world. I saw it this morning. You don't see things like that hardly any time. When do you ever see, children or adults, kind of shown to the world of the goodness that they do in this world? Very rarely. Why is that? When these stories touch us so much, why aren't we talking about that? Well, of course we're not talking about good stories because that brings good energy. They don't want good energy. They want bad energy. They want you in fear. So that's why good never sells. That's why love never flourishes. They won't allow it. They want to put you in. They want to put you in a room and lock you away if you're filled with love and kindness. They want to lock you away so you feel bad and start to vibrate at fear and worry and trauma. Then they'll let you out again. Interesting though. Don't get me started about religion. Sorry guys. Religion has been a long time hijacked. So sorry, but religion isn't what you think it is. But if you believe in God, that's beautiful. If you believe in a higher energy, that is love, that's beautiful. But please don't expect me to believe in a Bible, which was man-made and written. No thanks. I'll find my own path and my own truth and my own love and my own healing. And if there is a God, then he'll find me if I'm searching for him. So I wish you a lovely day, guys. Dr. Joe Dispenza. What do I think of Dr. Joe Dispenza? Well, normally he has a group of people watching over him all the time when he has his big shows where there's 3,000 people mainly in a room, and they're learning his technique, which is based upon combining the spirituality with science. Is it real? Of course it's real. We all know it's real. Who are his clients? Those that like the idea of science, that likes the proof, that needs the proof. Do I believe what he does is real and good? I do. I believe some people who are totally in the mind, that is high IQ people, those that really struggle to really truly understand the nature of life and are, I'm not saying low or young souls, I'm just saying those that are permanently stuck in the mind, that struggle daily. Joe Dispenza is perfect for them, for sure. I believe that's, you know, I often find that those people need Joe Dispenza all the time, and it's almost like a drug in itself. Do people heal from Joe Dispenza? I'm sure they do. Do the majority heal from him? I think the majority keep listening to his meditations. I don't know, it's a form of brainwashing to brainwash you into a different state. So it's a programming into a different state of mind. I kind of have an issue with life when I see people having the need for more. So I'm a little bit different from his teachings in the sense that once you grasp something, you start to practice it yourself and find your own a spiritual path. But like I said, most people who go to him are very much in the mind. I'm probably going to get a lot of grief from saying that, obviously. People are going to get angry with me, as they do, but it's the truth. If you have to keep going back to a spiritualist church every Sunday, I would question why. Didn't you get a message last week from one of the mediums? Yeah, I'm sure you got a message last week. Why are you wanting another one? Isn't one enough? Wasn't that good enough? Or is it because you feel the need? It's almost like a drug. You're addicted to it. So do I think spiritualist churches are dangerous? I think they are for some people. I think people, if they feel that they need it and they can't go on with life without it, and they're still sad, even though they got a message from their mother or their brother or their sister or their child. I mean, shouldn't one message be enough? When I used to do readings, I used to give my clients a reading, and sometimes their family members would come up, and that would be it. And I'd say to them, you don't need to know another message from me again or from your family. You need to go away and live your life. They're asking you to live your life, and you don't need to always be in this energy. They're always with you. You need to connect to them yourself. There is an argument that people go to spiritual church because it makes them feel good, good energy, and they like to sing the songs. And I get that. I get it. So I'm not, I'm trying not to just say it's just one thing. I'm just saying I do see that, like anybody who teaches, it frightened me to death when people wanted to fully embrace my teaching and live it, drink it, sleep it, and work it. That frightened me to death. And it never is a good outcome. It happened to me with one guy who was lovely and really kind, and he wanted to drop his life and start again. And I realized that I thought it was because he wanted to learn and to become a healer and a reader and then to move on and get on with their life. But no. And people like that, just when they just need you and want, that's dangerous, guys. That's why you can see it in cults. That's why you can see it in gurus. That's why people follow them and give up all their money and stuff. No, that is not why I did this work. I did this work to make you feel better today so that tomorrow you can stand up on your feet and become the powerful energy that you are. Not that you're reliant on the person that's helping you. The person that's helping you wants you to help yourself. But like I said, in this field of work, there's too many frauds. There's too many people who take advantage. People get pissed off with me because I do a course and then let them go. And then, the worst thing about that was, what now? What now? I'm like, what do you mean, what now? I learned how to do healing. I never went to my mentor and said, what now? I went and practiced. I went and learned and wanted to experience it myself and learn and grow. I didn't hold on to a teacher and like, this is my guru. It's like, that's not what you're here for. You're your own guru. So we learn from each other and grow in our own way. But there's so many souls that just cannot and do not believe in themselves enough that they need Joe Dispenza every day on a recording. They need him to sleep at night. They need it's like, you don't. You need the tools, and then utilize them tools for your own benefit and utilize what feels right, and become your own teacher and become your own healer. That's why I think it's dangerous. Like, honestly, the amount of people used to get pissed off with me because they said, oh, he teaches pure energy healing after 4 days and then just leaves us. He doesn't follow up. He doesn't care. It's like, wow, are you serious? I've given you my 4 days of 20 years experience, and what, you want to be a club? You want to be in a club? You want to be in our little it's ours and nobody's coming in and it's just us and we're important? No, you're not important, and I'm not important. I'm just sharing what I'm sharing with you, and now what you do with that is up to you. But some souls just can't move forward from that. It's really, really crazy. I find it really, really scares me. It scares me because I realize how easy it is that people can manipulate somebody else. I'd help people so many times from so-called cult members. I call them cults because they're basically brainwashers. And I remember one particular, I always mention this one. I remember she came to me and she was in a daze. Right? And she was lovely, really beautiful, but she'd lost all her strength, her confidence. She'd lost everything. And she was sat in front of me and I started reading for her. And I said, there's a dangerous person. I can see here, very dangerous. And it looks like he's stripping you of your clothes. It looks like he's doing things to you. And he's a snake. He's a monster. And I said, and you need to snap out of it. You need to get rid of this monster as quickly as you can, because he's going to take everything from you. And then she started crying. I didn't know what I was saying. I could feel what was happening. I didn't know what was going on. And afterwards, she was broke down and cried, and I gave her a healing session. And she said, you give me the confidence now to do what I need to do. And we went for a coffee, and she told me that in California, she'd gotten into this cult, and I can't remember his name, Axel or something like that. It was years ago. He'd brainwashed her. He was a cult leader, brainwashed her, and he was about to take her 7-8 million euros from that her father's inheritance, and he was convincing her to give everything up to his cause. And she thanks me to this day that I saved her life. I didn't save her life, she saved her life. I just helped her see, and I helped to give her the strength, and it was up to her then to make the necessary choices in life, what to do after that. I can't take credit for any of that. I showed her what she was blinded by a cult member who was a powerful, very dark monster, was trying to steal from her and take her will and so on. I've seen so much of this stuff over my years. It's hard to smile about things these days, to see that the very nature of humanity is very easily corrupted. I can see that we've been, from a child till this moment, we've been hacked, we've been brainwashed, we've been programmed to follow, to believe in authority. All of these things has made it difficult for humanity to grow. We cannot grow unless we find our inner power and believe in ourselves. I'm not talking about ego. I'm not talking about, greed. I'm not talking about any of those things. I'm talking about a self-awareness inside that is your measuring stick to knowing what's right from wrong, and to also finding that beautiful inner power that is your consciousness that guides you from right from wrong, to discern between being manipulated. And there's loads of different forms of manipulation as well, guys. There's tons of manipulation forms. There's gentle ones, really, subtle ones, and there's some thunderbolt and lightning strike. The biggest ones is government. Government is a system. The system is all about scaring the shit out of you, to steal from you, to make you do exactly what they want you to do. It's all a psyop. It's all manipulated energy that the psychologists who are monsters, that's what they do every day. It's done every day, constantly, 24 hours a day, and it's done for nefarious reasons. It's done for evil reasons. It's done to bring power into the wrong people's hands. It's done to create wars. It's done to cull the world. It's done for all the wrong reasons. There is no peace and love involved in any of that. None. And I would argue that there's very little peace and love in this world. And people would argue with me and say, oh, that's awful, Mark. There is. And they may be around you, but if you look at what you see day to day, well, if you're on the black screen, there's not much love. If you're walking the streets and you're talking to people, not too bad. And that's why it's probably better that we spend more time off the phones and more in real life. So I'm wishing you a lovely day. Whatever you're doing, shine bright. And by the way, guys, I am not dissing Joe Dispenza at all. I have never done anything with Joe Dispenza. I know nothing about him, but I have a lot of clients and close friends who have benefited tremendously from Joe Dispenza. So thank you, Joe, for doing that job. All I am saying is, do not let anybody become a guru or let anybody be the answer to your life. They're not. Have a great day, guys. Take care.